On this episode of Sportsman's News Television, we're going to one of the most unique places I've ever been in North America. We're going to the 777 Ranch. And usually when we're headed someplace to do a show, we've vetted the outfitter, we've talked to him in advance, but you know what? The 777 Ranch is a place that I had heard of for years and years, seen it on TV. Usually they've got dignitaries, they've got really famous people, and I thought it was just one of those places that was off the charts, someplace we couldn't afford to go or do. But I had a really good friend, Dave Heath, that bought a hunt down there to hunt Auodad. So I got an opportunity to tag along with him just to go experience it, not even to evaluate it. I just wanted to see what this place was all about. But once we got down there and got to meet Jeff Rand, the owner of this place, and all of his team of people, I realized that I had totally the wrong perception of this operation. This place is for absolutely everybody, and when you walk in the gates or drive into the gates, this place is absolutely phenomenal. It's set around a lake, the main lodge is there, individual cabins, and it's basically Africa in Hondo, Texas. I mean, almost 60 different African animals. It's a great place to take your family, friends, any place that you don't want to spend, 20 hours traveling to Africa. It was phenomenal to spend 4 days here. David picked one of the most difficult animals to try to harvest on this, but we absolutely had a great time while we're at the 777 Ranch. From the minute you get checked into the main lodge, you get assigned a guide. That guy is pretty much with you the entire time. Shares breakfast, shares lunch, shares dinners with you. You get to know them personally, and most of the guides have been there for a really long period of time, so they know the ranch extremely well, and pretty much made us feel like we were family the entire time that we were there, and we had a great time with them. So what's our plan for the afternoon?
It's going to set it in the rifle range, and then go from there.
Okay.
Make sure the rifle is on, and then go from there.
So Dave's got no excuses for missing?
No, it's not going to be excuse. One shot.
Going hot.
Yeah, 3.5 inches. Yeah, 3 inches, right? Just put it down.
Put it down.
Yeah.
How many clicks you want me to go?
How many clicks is the length?
Quarter MOA. Auodad are a really, really unique animal, and I started hunting them about 6 years ago. And we started hunting them in West Texas in more of a traditional terrain for what those guys really like. I mean, big bluffs, cliffs, they're a sheep, and that's what they like. And then being here on the 777 Ranch, this was more senderos and thick brush and everything. So an animal that really loves to hide, we weren't able to use glassing techniques like we were to use in other places and in their native land. So this situation, you're hoping that you get one to come out in one of the senderos, but they don't like people, and they really don't like being shot at. So it pretty much put Dave to the test. We spent several days driving around, looking at different pastures, trying to find stuff, and these guys know where these sheep live in areas of these places, but getting them to stand still long enough for a shot was something that just wasn't in the cards, and it really put us to the test. think of the 777 Ranch there, Davey?
This place is actually really sweet, Mike. Really classy. There's game animals everywhere, big animals. It's the closest thing to Africa without being in Africa.
So when you hunt here at the 777 Ranch, or if you hunt in Africa with Jeff, you have all of your own taxidermy work done right here. He said they do about 80% of it, and by looking at the work that's here, there's no reason why not to have it done here. You guys are great. Turnaround time is basically about a year, so that's why he started it. They don't do any outside taxidermy work. It was strictly to get the people's mounts from here and get them back home within a year. And they absolutely do phenomenal work, and you can jump back on a plane and go anywhere you want in the United States or anywhere. They get people from Africa even hunting here. You know, I've been a few places with Dave before, and Dave is a really good shot and pretty much hits everything he shoots at, but having a camera along and having an animal that doesn't want to cooperate really kind of handicapped us from that standpoint. But you know what? This one sheep, we'd been there 3 days. First of the morning, we come out and we get the break we're absolutely been waiting for. Come into the gate and look up one of the senderos, and there is a huge sheep standing there just at the edge of the brush. We were able to back the truck up, get set up for a shot, but not having time to range it and worried that he's going to dump into the sendero there. You know, Dave made a shot thinking he was about 200 yards, and he was more like 350, 375 yards, shot just underneath that animal. And we went up and looked, spent a bunch of time looking for blood to see if it was there. We went back and looked at the film and could see that he had shot just underneath between his legs, and a clean miss. You know, we'd spent 3 days basically from daylight till dark trying to get an Auodad to not only present us a good shot, but be able to get it on film. And we'd already had one opportunity. We were a little bit concerned that that was going to happen again. And our guide Marcelo said he knew where there was 3 really good Auodad living. But we'd been through this pasture numerous times. We'd never seen them. We figured that, you know, somehow they'd got out or something, but Marcel said no, he was sure they were there. We were going to go ahead and get some guys out and push some brush and just do an old style drive. And when he did that, man, it didn't take too long to push some of those guys out.
That one got it.
You know, after spending several hours looking for him, we found blood in multiple places, but it was just obvious we were pushing these Auodad around. We were seeing them, but none of them showing signs of being hit. So we didn't want to end up shooting 2 Auodads, so we backed out of there, said let's go have lunch. And during that, Jeff had the time to come in and sit down and talk to us. He said, look, we really need to manage the whitetail herd. Let me have some of my guys go out and look for your Auodad this afternoon. Why don't you guys go sit a feeder and some food plot stuff over in some of our whitetail pastures. There's some great bucks over there that are way past maturity. They need to be harvested out of there. And, you know, just some substandard bucks. They manage their whitetails to be a true traditional whitetail. They want the, you know, big typicals, nice and wide, few kickers here and there, but not these big, extreme, ridiculous looking whitetails. And Jeff was willing to let us go help manage the herd. I really wanted to go take a look at all the whitetails that are in here, because this place is known for some of their huge whitetails in this part of Texas, and lots of them around in the ranch house and in the lodge. So what a better opportunity to have somebody looking for our Auodad while we're out looking at white-tailed deer and hopefully put the hammer down on a big management deer.
Okay, so we're at the 777 Ranch today, and Jeff asked us to come shoot a management buck. We saw some really great bucks. In fact, there was a giant that came in right before we saw this management buck, and he looks really old. His horns are weird. You can see his ribs poking out. He's just not the type of deer that Jeff wants on the ranch, so I took a shot, and Mike says if he's not laying right on the edge of the brush, he's going to kill me. So hopefully we'll walk over here and find that buck laying there. He's right there, Mike. Nice management buck.
Look at the mass on that thing's faces.
That's weird, huh?
Yeah, he's got good. Look how long his nose is. You know, by the end of the day, we'd harvested that management whitetail, but those guys still hadn't found Dave's Auodad. The next morning, we were already ready to come home and fly out of San Antonio, and they had found him, and we were stoked when they were able to send us a couple of text pictures that Dave's sheep was there, and he's got him at the taxidermist shop there. You know, nobody better for taxidermists than those guys doing it right there. They did a great job. So even though we didn't get to do the trophy photos we'd like to do, Dave's going to get to have that nice ram. He's right at 30 inches, just an absolute stud of a ram. And you know, we put that to the test. I mean, I truly say that's one of the toughest animals to harvest while you're down there, just because he's in a bit different terrain than we're used to hunting them. But everything else there was world class, and being able to meet Jeff face to face, he's one of the most renowned professional hunters in the world, and he's been around for a long time, and he brought all of that to the 777 Ranch. He bought it in the early 2000s, and it was a great place, and he has developed it into a world-class place, and we're really happy to have them as one of our platinum approved outfitters. We're going to give away a hunt with these guys for our pro membership program, so it's going to be a credit towards either a white-tailed deer or some exotic animals. So you can make your decision when you go, but one thing's for sure, when you get in this lodge, it is absolutely exquisite. The accommodations are nothing short of spectacular, so we're really happy to have them as a platinum approved outfitter. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Sportsman's News Television. Tune in next month, we'll have another great show for you.
Sportsman's News Television is brought to you by Vortex Optics, the force of optics. Sitka, turning clothing into gear. CVA, it's just a better gun. Bushnell Trophy Cams, bulletproof reliability for life. Double Tap Ammunition, handcrafted American-made precision ammunition. And by Jumping Jack, from trailer to tent in 5 minutes.